Did British royal mothers ever breastfeed their own babies? Or did they pass off this intimate task to someone else? What is the hidden truth behind royal motherhood? The British royal family has long been the subject of intense public scrutiny. Every move they make, every tradition they uphold, is watched by millions around the world. One question that often sparks curiosity is, did royal mothers actually breastfeed their children, or was this task left to hired help? Historically, royal mothers rarely breastfed their children. Instead, they often employed wet nurses, who were responsible for breastfeeding the royal babies. This practice was common in noble and royal households across Europe during the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries, as the task of breastfeeding was often considered too mundane for women of high status. Queen Victoria, one of the most famous monarchs in British history, had 9 children. Despite the growing awareness of breastfeeding's health benefits, Queen Victoria did not breastfeed her children herself. Like many royals before her, she relied on wet nurses to handle the breastfeeding duties. This decision, however, was not unusual for royal families during that period. The Queen Mother, the wife of King George VI, also did not breastfeed her children. Instead, wet nurses were employed for the task, a practice that was common among royals of her generation. In fact, she expressed in her memoirs that using a wet nurse was much more practical, given her royal duties and the demands of raising a family in the public eye. By the 20th century, attitudes toward motherhood and breastfeeding began to shift. Though royal women were still expected to maintain a certain level of distance from their children, a new era was dawning in which some royal mothers began to embrace more personal involvement in their children's care. Princess Margaret, the younger sister of Queen Elizabeth II, was one of the first royal figures to breastfeed her children. Though details are sparse, it is believed that Margaret made the personal decision to breastfeed her children, reflecting a more progressive stance for royal mothers of her time. Princess Diana was known for breaking royal conventions, and her approach to motherhood was no exception. She made the decision to breastfeed her sons, which was a significant departure from royal traditions. Diana's hands-on approach to parenting endeared her to the public and humanized her image as a royal mother. As we move into the 21st century, breastfeeding among royal mothers has become more visible. In a time of transparency and social media, royal women have become more open about their experiences with breastfeeding, encouraging others to embrace it as part of modern motherhood. Kate Middleton, the wife of Prince William, has been open about her experiences with breastfeeding. She breastfed all 3 of her children and has spoken candidly about the challenges she faced, including issues like engorgement and finding the right support. Kate's decision to breastfeed, combined with her public discussions about the experience, helped normalize breastfeeding for new mothers, particularly those in the public eye. Meghan Markle, known for her independent approach to royal life, also chose to breastfeed her son, Archie. Meghan has shared her struggles with breastfeeding, acknowledging the exhaustion and difficulty of balancing it with her royal duties. Her candidness about her experience resonated with many new mothers, and her decision to breastfeed Archie reflected her desire to bond with her child on a deeper level. In conclusion, while royal families historically relied on wet nurses to breastfeed their children, the 20th and 21st centuries have seen a shift in attitudes toward breastfeeding. Royal mothers like Princess Diana, Kate Middleton, and Meghan Markle have embraced breastfeeding, not just as a physical act, but as a way to connect with their children and break with tradition. Their openness has encouraged a broader conversation about motherhood, breaking the stigma around public figures embracing more natural, hands-on approaches to parenting. As we look to the future, it's clear that royal families will continue to evolve, and with them, the image of royal motherhood. What started as a practice reserved for the elite has now become an open, public, and empowering part of the royal story.